The Dash 940C was a one-off type of locomotive built exclusively for Norfolk Southern in 1995. They were Dash 9 series locomotives built with standard cabs and had their horsepower dropped from 4,400 to just 4,000. This was done as a way for Norfolk Southern to save money on fuel costs, as well as to save money on the cab in the short term. They also believed that the 4,000 horsepower would reduce engine strain, as it also made less attractive effort, and therefore maintenance would be needed to be done less often, saving Norfolk Southern money in the long term. However, in 2015, Norfolk Southern would uprate the horsepower back to 4,400 again due to trains getting longer and heavier by the day, and in 2018, they would retire all of the Dash 940Cs, selling them off for scrap, and also selecting a few of them to be rebuilt into the first AC-44 C6Ms. The Dash 940Cs will likely always be remembered as some of the most unique locomotives ever made, and also some of the last ever made with standard cabs. Yesterday, on Christmas Day, I was lucky enough to receive yet another one of these rather unique pieces of Norfolk Southern's history. And so today, join me as we take a look at my Athearn Genesis Norfolk Southern number 8888. The highest road numbered Dash 940C. And here we are, up in the room that used to at one point be my layout room. It was a rather small layout before compared to what we got now. So we'll go and open this thing up in here, check out the detail, and then we'll take this thing outside to the garage and run it on the big Pittsburgh line layout. So yeah, like I said before though, this is the second one of these now that I have. And here's the first one that I have. This is also an Athearn Genesis, number 8820, and it has the Horsehead logo, while the new one is a Thoroughbred, which is the original logo. So yeah, really cool. But yeah, these things, I've always loved them. I thought they were really cool locomotives, these standard cab Dash 9s. I fucking love them things. But yeah, let's go ahead and just open this thing up. This is the ATHG31675, and of course it is number 8888. Which you guys might recognize as the number of Crazy Eights, which was that runaway train on CSX that inspired the movie Unstoppable. So, yeah, I have not taken this out of the box yet, so this will be my first reaction to it. So hopefully it's not like broken or something. if it's in like two pieces, man. All right, there we go. So here it is, number 8888 in the box. So let's go and pull this thing out. I might have to put the phone down for a moment here so I can actually open this thing. But, okay, come on. Yeah, I'm gonna, yeah. So yeah, this is how it looks in the packaging as of right now. I will just take this out of the packaging and then we'll be right back. Alright, so after wrestling the box to get this thing out and almost ripping off my fucking handrails because of these fucking handrail pieces, we finally got the thing out of the box. So yeah, this is the 8888 in all of its glory. And if we put this thing next to the 8820, we can see how this compares. And the reason I'm trying to compare these so much is because the 8820 is actually a slightly older run of the Dash 9s, like the Dash 940C anyway, without the the brown logo on there. Instead it's like the older, like this kind of logo on it. Not all the way back there, but it still has like the Tsunami 2 LED and all that stuff, but just not with the brown logo, which is the brand new run of these. So it'd be really interesting to see how they kind of compare to each other, but we'll compare them later. Let's just have a look at the detail for now on the 8888, starting with the front here. Of course, we can see that this, of course, the Thoroughbred paint scheme is really cool. Had the didn't have the white striping on top, just had all black and the original Norfolk Southern logo with those the speed stripes on it. It just looks really fucking cool. Now, coming up to the front here, we can see all the separately applied parts, like the grab irons on the actual plow itself. And these McHenry couplers, these are the main thing about Athearn models I don't really like that much. These McHenrys, they fucking suck. They decouple all the time. I will definitely be replacing these with what I put on this Dash 9 over here, which are KD metal magnetic couplers. Anyways, though, On the side here, we can actually see, if we zoom in a little bit, you can see that it actually says under warranty. And we also have like a GE table on the side. And those tables will actually tell you when the locomotive was built, as well as like how much horsepower it's rated for and things like that. And that is just such a cool little detail. There's also a table on the 8820 like that as well. But it actually also says -940C on this one. For whatever reason, this one doesn't actually say it. I'm not really sure why it doesn't, because I've looked at real pictures of this thing and it actually does say it on it. So, thing is though, the pictures that I've seen do not have it say under warranty on it. So, perhaps when it was first ordered, it just didn't have the classification on the side of it. I don't really know why it wouldn't be there, but that's just kind of bizarre to me, honestly. But of course, we have all the lights work. If you actually look in the middle there, you actually see that little thing right there, and that is actually where your walkway lights are. There's walkway lights on the front and rear of this locomotive, and all the lights on this thing work. We got working ditch lights, headlight, number boards, as well as ditch lights on the back as well, and a headlight on the rear as well. The headlight's actually pretty nicely, like, well hidden on this thing. I was surprised at that, actually. Usually they're pretty easy to spot. But there's a lot of separately applied parts on this thing, as we can see here. We got the grab irons on the back that allow you to climb the rear of the locomotive. Probably a good thing, considering this is a GE, and that exhaust stack, they tend to spit some fucking flames. Like, one of the most iconic videos on Norfolk Southern, like, on YouTube anyway, of a Norfolk Southern train is when a Dash 9 was, like, on fucking fire. I think it was made by Wide World of Trains. Be sure to go check that video out if you haven't already. And of course, we also have this AC unit on the top that gave these things the nickname of the Top Hat Dash 9s. Got these two firecracker antennas on the top here, a Nathan K5 LA horn. And the ditch lights also will flash whenever you blow the horn in DCC. Now, just look at these. Like, the truck detailing has really gotten better over time. I'm not sure how much the phone camera will show you, but you can definitely see, like, the trucks are super detailed. They are really, really well done, as they always have been for Athearn Genesis. The bearing cap that's exposed there in the middle, that actually will turn whenever the locomotive is moving. And this thing here, I don't know what this is. It's actually on the 8820 as well. I don't know what that is supposed to be. I don't know what it is. Like, it's not on my Union Pacific C44-9W, so I don't know exactly what that piece is. I don't know if that's meant to be like the horsepower limiter. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's interesting and it's there. So yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's there. It's definitely there. Now, coming on here to the other side of the locomotive, it still, of course, says under warranty on this side as well. And by the way, all the fonts and everything are correct for the real prototype. We also have the etched see-through steps. Probably not be able to see them very well on camera. Maybe you will. But you can see through the steps, just like on the real locomotives. And that's also done to prevent, like, mud from gathering on the steps and becoming a slippery surface. So, really cool there. We also have a little mechanical bell right there on the fuel tank, exactly where it would be on these Dash 9s. In the middle, of course, we have another exposed roller bearing cap, and that also will turn. That's on both trucks, by the way, both the front and rear. Looks like we have more truck detailing on there as well. You can see, like, suspensions and stuff as well. Yeah, this thing is really well detailed. There's, like, little warning labels and everything on the individual, like, doors on the side here. Paint scheme is amazing. It's spot on. They did a very, very good job making this look like a real Dash 940C. It looks very nice. But I think we've done enough looking at it for now, besides maybe the bottom. Bottom, though, usually there's not much on the bottom of these things for any reason, because when are you ever really going to see the bottom, unless they're, like, flipped over on their side. But yeah, this thing is sweet. Now, I should mention, though, that this was purchased new on Train World, and it was not exactly a cheap locomotive. It was like $360 or something like that dollars. So do be advised that this one's a very expensive one. However, it was a gift to me, so I didn't have to pay a dime for it, but I kind of felt bad because of how much money it cost. So just know that this is a pretty expensive locomotive. But anyways, though, let's go take this thing outside to the layout, and let's see what kind of sound it packs. All right, so we are now out here on the layout. I've cleared off the track here. There's no cars or anything on that, so we'll run the locomotive individually first, and then we will put some cars with it, and probably the other Dash 9 that I brought out here as well with it, and we'll have a little montage of that thing running around. So let's go ahead and put this thing on the track and hear what it sounds like starting up. The back is a little bit off the track. There we go. So, there's that. So now let's check out some lights, starting off with those walkways. See them in the middle there. So now, let's go ahead and actually, we'll do a head-on shot for this. Why not? If my camera would focus, that'd be great. There we go. Hopefully. And then we'll just do it from the side of the mark. Start off with the... Actually, let's put in... Might actually be nice to select the locomotive on the controller. That might help. These things are always set to 3 whenever you get them from the factory, so we'll just do that. So F6 will be the number board lighting. Pretty good. 0 is your headlight. 7 is the dimmer for the headlight. You also might hear the crew talking in the cab there. Very hard to hear that, though. That really needs to be improved. 5, though, is the ditch lights. Oh, my God. Holy Christ, Athearn. My God. You love your ditch lights. I see that. My God, Athearn. Holy shit. Those are the brightest ditch lights I think I've ever seen on one of these Dash 9s. All right, bell. And then horn. Pretty good. Standard K5 LA. Awesome. And of course, if anyone was actually curious to see about the lighting on the rear, let's switch the direction here. Where's the direction of my controller? Here it is. Everything comes on in the back. They look pretty good on the back too. And of course, the rear ditch lights should also be flashing as well. And they are. So that's awesome to see. Love this thing already. Now let's go ahead and flip it around. And I'm going to see how this thing performs out of the box here, and then I'll program it later to be speed matched with my other locomotives. So we'll start off with a speed step 1 test. So increase 1. And it's a little bit choppy, but for the most part, it's not bad. But this is a brand new factory locomotive, so it does need to be broken in. Let me get this piece of garbage axle out of the way. You should hopefully be able to see the axles are rotating there, the bearing caps. So that's really cool to see that it does that. And then, of course, the other direction. Yeah, it does run pretty smooth, though. I'm not sure if it's visible, probably not on camera, so I'm going to have to turn the lights off for me to be able to see it right now, but there should be ground lights on this thing as well. So we'll have to turn the lights down a little bit to see that. But this thing is running pretty good so far, so I'm going to go ahead and program the thing to be speed matched off camera, and then we'll throw this on another locomotive and have it haul some cars. So be back in a minute. Well, I have the thing moving right now at speed step 60, and it is running really well. And just to put in perspective how long the train is, it is absolutely massive. And this is all just 2 engines. I just have the 2 Dash 9s on there, the 2 D9s. They're all the way up there. And the end of the train is all the fucking way back here. So, yeah, I don't know how many cars I put on this thing. The average layout, like the average train for my layout is usually about 30 to 35 cars. above average is usually anywhere from like 40 to 50. So, yeah. It's doing pretty damn well right now. So, overall, everything went really well. The locomotive looks really good, especially when paired with other ones. You know, these things, they all look really good when they're paired with the 8888, as well as, you know, the other Dash 940C over there. It looks good both in the lead position and, of course, in the trailing position, which is just, it's perfect. The locomotive is really, really good, and I would definitely recommend picking one up, but I would not recommend spending retail price on any of these. The retail price for one of these locomotives is a ridiculous $360, and that is way, way overpriced in my opinion. So I would not recommend spending that much on one, but if you can find one at a good price, I would absolutely recommend getting one of these locomotives for yourself. They look amazing, and if you love Norfolk Southern, this will go right on your layout and it will look amazing. The Thoroughbred paint scheme, this is actually the second Thoroughbred that I currently own. The other one is in here actually with my NS 1074 here. This is the Lackawanna Heritage. But the other Thoroughbred that I own is this. This is also an Athearn Genesis, and it is an SD70M, numbered 2588, and you guys might recognize this one as it has a custom Leslie RS5T horn on it. So yeah, these things though could go right together, no problem, and no one would bat an eye. They are amazing locomotives, these Thoroughbred paints, and also when you pair them with like Heritage units, they look just as good as you saw with the Savannah and Atlanta up there. Awesome locomotive, would highly recommend it, just do not pay retail price for it. Anyways, though, that has been this model train review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, you already know what to do. I'm not even going to say it on this. I'm not going to say it. I don't like to be, like, the guy to remind people to, like and subscribe and stuff like that. I just don't like to do it, so, yeah. Anyway, though, this has been LLH, signing out. See you guys next time.